Welcome to They Gon' Feel Me podcast. This is episode 11. And I'm your host for today, Rob, joined by Young Reezy, LC, and your boy Christopher. Before we get started, we'd like to give a shout out to all of our listeners. If this is your first time, our returning listeners, be sure to like, subscribe, hit that bell for notifications so it'll let you know when a new video is uploaded. So let's get to these topics. Let's go. All right. Jada, Jada, Jada. As we know, Miss Jada Pinkett-Smith, she has a show called The Red Table Talk. And on a recent episode, Jada discussed something that she wanted to have checked off of her bucket list at 50. And she made the comment that she really wanted to learn how to love at 50. What do you guys think about that?
I feel for Will Smith in that episode he had. I don't think he was talking about his dad when he was talking to Uncle Phil. I think he was talking about Jada. Because, boy, is she doing my boy wrong. And I don't mean to jump into the Stephen A. voice, but goddamn. I mean, you done had 2 kids by this man. You done dated with August Alsina, as we seen in this past year. And you still trying to figure out how to love? It's just it's bullshit, man. At the end of the day, it's BS. Because if this was reverted and this was Will Smith in this position, it would be a completely different stance. And instead of there being questions, there will be a complete uproar. All black men, there they go, doing women wrong and this, that, and the third. It's just it's ridiculous. It's crazy the double standards that we see. I don't understand it. I mean, if you've been married to this guy, I don't know how long y'all been married, but if you've been married to this man for this long and you just now trying to figure out how to love, I mean, y'all need to go back to the drawing board. Part of that definitely comes with them having an open relationship. If you gonna date me and you decide you want to have an open relationship, I'm gonna keep that to myself. Just know you can go on with that. Like I don't get it. But that's me.
I don't think Lil Wayne meant what Jada's doing when he was talking about how to love. I don't think
what key
that was what he was intending for my boy Will Smith. You know, I feel bad for the homie. I mean, I'm pretty sure he's done his thing. You know what I'm saying? I'm not absolving him of wrongdoing. I'm pretty sure that he's done wrong. But you know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like Jada is just wilding, man. Like, I don't know what's going on with her. I don't understand this whole situation with them. And I just feel like, you know, they got to figure it out. Like, either they need to get a divorce, go their separate ways. I mean, their kids are pretty much grown. So, I mean, if you really want to figure out how to love, like, to me personally, I'd be like, do that on your own time. I know they got a lot of things tied in together with each other, you know, financially and all these things, you know, and maybe that's the thing, the reason why they don't want to split. But at the end of the day, I agree. It's just like it's BS, because if the shoe was on the other foot, I'm sure we all know how this story would be trending. Like, it would be no understanding of why are you trying to figure out how to find love. There would be no compassion or sympathy, you know, for Will Smith. It would all be him being condemned for being well, I'm not gonna say it, but for him being a bad man, you know, at the end of the day, F boy, for lack of better words. But anyway, that's my spill on it. I'm not gonna go full Reezy Samuels this episode. I will withhold my aggression. But Jada Pinkett, you full of shit.
You just couldn't hold it.
So my personal feeling, I honestly, the whole Jada thing, personally for me, feels like a tired ass story. Like, I mean, we got the juicy story about her and that bitch nigga August Alsina, like, and let that woman cheat in peace if she is cheating. Like, I honestly, all right, let me be real. Like, let me not say silly stuff. So honestly, I look at it like when I read into whatever she had to say, I don't know if she's. I mean, one, I don't feel as if Will's just out here suffering. If Will wanted to go out and have like a meaningful relationship with somebody else, or find something else, or find a better relationship, he could. I don't necessarily read into her words of I want to know how to love, or I want to know how to find love or whatever. Like whatever she said. Like I don't necessarily read into it with like this negative type of connotation. I mean, because as someone who's been in a relationship, several relationships in my lifetime that have been tumultuous, it's kind of like at a certain point you really got to turn around and kind of look at yourself. See what you're good at, see what you're bad at, see at what you've done to basically cause the rifts in your relationships. And it's kind of like a thing for me personally, where I just look at what she has to say and maybe she needs to do some self-discovery. I mean, and they'd rather do that together, as an actual couple as opposed to like do it separate. I mean, we live in a generation where if you do even a slight mess up, it's like, oh, we getting divorced. And it's like we come, like our parents and grandparents that came before us, like they dealt with like so much more stuff, so much more BS that like we did to one another and like stayed together for 40, 50, 60 years. And it's kind of like, one, it ain't none of my business. Two, if they find a way to find a rapport, to find love, to find themselves, to have like this new age relationship that works for them, that's their business. I just don't think that she's like just dragging Will through the mud, because ultimately he a grown ass man and like he'll be all right. Just if she and whatever she has to discover on her own, like that's her journey. And like I think that we should look at that just as being just as much of a healthy thing as like discovering yourself, like from a mental health standpoint. It's like learn how to be a better lover. I get it. There's love is not just a monolithic thing that's the same for everybody. That's what I got to say.
It's a difficult. It's difficult for me because I see both sides. See both sides to it. From one standpoint of um, putting yourself in someone else's shoes. You're like, hey, we've been together for this long, and we've had our ups and downs, and it seems like I don't know if it's the cost of doing business and being a celebrity, and both of you guys are, celebs and in the public eye. But some of this stuff is like it's kind of cringeworthy because seeing Will at that table, when she was talking about that entrapment with August Alsina, it was just real uncomfortable. And when you see Will, you look at them as a couple, and I guess it's going back to our putting celebrities on a pedestal, and not realizing that, hey, they normal humans. They're normal humans like the rest of us. They go through certain stuff, but it looked surreal to see Will Smith, Fresh Prince of Bel Air, Men in Black, you know, sitting at a table and having to face, because ain't nowhere to run when your wife talking about, getting meted down by a young dude that ain't, you know what I'm saying? That's man.
That's
But let's be
domestic violence.
real. That's another part of it. Like, I mean, we all think that, oh, it's just poor will, but it's like I'm sure they just. I mean, there's been rumors forever that they've been swingers. I mean, how do we know that? Like, the only
I
that
mean,
whole.
I understand. I get it. I get it. And we're not saying that Will is an angel, but do you see Will bringing Jada on TV saying, "Hey, you know, Salma Hayek, I used to knock that down back in the day. I need you to forgive me for that."
I think that's what it boiled down to. It's kind of like when you look at their relationship, it's almost like locker room talk. You know what I'm saying? What happens in the locker room stays in the locker room. You don't go out and you don't tell everybody the shit that you talk about in the locker room. And it's like she just came on her episode and said all that she said, and now ever since we've looked at them completely different, even though we've known the things that we've known. Like you stated, I mean, there's been accusations and there's been talks about them being swingers and them having an open relationship and everything like that. But it's like when you come out and you make that a topic now, and then you bring the person on that you had the affair with, then you bring your husband on after that, and he just looking sick as a dog during the whole conversation. I think that's what makes it even worse
Yeah.
and brings a worse light
But I
to a dimmer light to the situation.
but I feel as if like going back to that interview. I mean, let's be real. She just putting out this Red Table Talk show that basically is supposed to be so like a open forum to basically kind of be for the people, and then all of a sudden this scandal happens, and it's kind of like she had to do that episode because like when it's all said and done, she had to do that episode from the standpoint of like, I mean, you can't just have this scandal going on in the background and then you having your show and you ain't addressing it at all, trying to act as if like it's not happening. So like, I mean, she had to get in front of that. That's crisis management right there. She had to get in front of it and show that her and Will are still like a unified front. I get that part of it, like I really did. So, and ultimately, it's like whatever agreements they had in their relationship, whether it's to be lax or strict or whatever, it's kind of like it's unfortunate that they had their business put out on Front Street like that. And then let's be real, it's like people judge us so harshly because like as a society, we have a tendency to like judge women who cheat or go out and do dirt a little bit more harshly than we do men. That's why I
Yeah.
jokingly say let her cheat in peace. But like, let's be real. It's like if a dude did the exact same thing as Jada, it's like we wouldn't be like coming for their neck. We like demonize Jada, but like we joke when Future is like toxic. It's like
But
like
I'll
why
say
is there like that difference
I'll
between the
say
two?
I'll say this, and I'll be, we can, and we can move on. Well, these two things, I I I mean, if it's truly like she trying to really find out how to love, whatever, I commend her on. Hopefully she finds that out. But the other aspect about it, and partly why it's such a topic, is because people have held them up for so long as relationship goals.
Mm-hmm.
They
Yep.
put un um they put pressure, undue pressure on them because they've been together for so long, and on the outside they looked like a perfect, this perfect couple, this
Yep.
beautiful perfect couple that had kids and did everything right. But that also goes to show that looks can be deceiving, and stop always wanting something that you see on TV, because you only see the public perception, what people want you to see. You don't see what happens behind closed doors. But speaking of public perception, let's go to this next topic, because we know not too long ago, comedian AJ Johnson, most noted from his role in Friday as Ezel passed away and rest in peace. But his wife had some few choice words to say. What do you guys feel about the stance she took in regards to the fake love in Hollywood?
What? So is that basically what she said? Like she felt as if like there was fake love,
Yeah.
like fake outreach.
Uh,
Hmm.
well, yeah, she started a GoFundMe like a week ago or something like that, like a week, like right after the news broke. She started a GoFundMe, and I think it had like 700. It raised like $700 or something like that. And as soon as she like called people out and talked about fake love, it went up to like $50,000. People started, sending money and stuff like that. So I definitely understand the whole fake love aspect and what she's talking about. He's been in several films. He's not an A-list celebrity, but but he is somebody that we all know from a popular movie that is a part of our most of our childhoods, I would
A
assume.
cult classic.
Yeah, it's a classic.
Several popular
Yeah,
movies from my
yeah, several
childhood.
popular movies, but we all a lot of us know him from Friday as Ezel. But he's been in Martin. He's been in several shows.
Def Comedy
So
Jam.
yeah, yeah. So I mean, House Party, I believe. So uh,
I got the
and
hookup.
yeah, I got the hookup. Yeah, so he's one of those actors that even though he's not an A-list celebrity, he still is, embedded into our
Yeah.
culture and our,
He-
our
he's
childhood.
known.
Yeah, yeah, he's known. So for her to start a GoFundMe and to only receive $700 is kind of shocking. I don't know if people may have tried to reach out to her and give money like other than GoFundMe. Maybe there were people who tried to reach out and just give her money on a personal level, like or help assist on a personal level, aside from doing the GoFundMe thing, because that's become a popular tool for people who want to raise money for bad tragedies and situations of that nature. But it is kind of crazy to see that nobody really supported her until she came out and said something about it. So ultimately, that it does sound like fake love. It sounds like, again, social media. People don't respond until it's on social media and it's become this highlight, and then they all want to act. Then they want to do it for clout, do it for. So I helped him. I did this. I did that. What I'm saying, like, it's all reaction based thing. It's not genuine at the end of the day, and I can see where she's coming from, with this whole thing.
Not
Listen,
to put
I
him
have love
on.
for this man from the standpoint of I remember all the things that I've laughed at him and enjoyed his art, his craft over the years of his career. I mean, I can't say that I've been following him like, like month to month, day to day, year to year, trying to see where his life ended up or where or just give him all the support. But I would agree with her when all these people talk about like, oh, how he inspired them to get into comedy. Like if somebody makes up some story just because he's dead to talk about like, how that he's such an inspiration and how sad they are and torn up about it. That's cap, that's fake. It can, and, fake comes off as fake when it's fake. I hate to say it like this though, but the flip side of that is that like when you are guilt tripping me into not giving you enough money because like you out here trying to get a GoFundMe up, then all of a sudden it's like, I mean, yeah, I hear what you're saying about the fake love thing, but it's like, is this about fake love? Or is this about like your bank account is big, ain't as big as you thought it would be? Like that's
And
when it's
you
kind of like, let's just keep this about the memorial to AJ and not about like, this GoFundMe page, because it's kind of like this feels like a money making opportunity is what it feels like. And like I don't want to feel as if like I'm being tricked, tricked out, because like, my donation ain't big enough for you. Like, now you about to get cursed out,
Eh, I think see you kind of stepped off into something that I was getting ready to go because I was gonna say do I have to be the bad guy? Do I have to be the bad guy and ask
No,
you
I'll be the bad guy.
know
Happily.
and ask this question because you are and I hate this. I hate to say this, but it's something that has to be said. This is another example of why financial literacy is so important because many times we see this situation play out, in regular everyday life, not on and the person is not a celebrity. That person didn't have insurance or didn't have any kind of plan in place, a will or something of that nature, to where, hey, in the event something does happen to me, my family is not in the situation where they have to pass a hat, at a church, or they don't have to set up a GoFundMe, a GoFundMe account. And like I said, he's been in various movies. I don't know what he got paid. I don't know what he's done with his money. But by the same token, you would think, and you know what they say when you assume, but you would think he had the wherewithal or had the means to not have to his wife set up a GoFundMe, a GoFundMe account, on his behalf. But what I was also going to ask you all, and like I said, Alcy, you hit on it. Does it make you feel a way that that she had to guilt people into giving?
Yeah, I mean, when I first read the story, I did feel that way. You know what I'm saying? I won't lie. Like I was like, why are you asking? I feel that way in general though. When people use, especially when people use GoFundMe, I always feel like it's a scam most of the time. At the end of the day, because a lot of people do scam people out of money. Look at that girl, the lady that was taking care of those children. She used those children, says she was a mother, and got like, I can't remember how much, 50,000 or something. So it was a lot of money. She was on CNN and all kind of stuff, and turns out she wasn't even the kid's mother. Like she was like a stepmother, like, or something like that. And she was faking like she actually had possession of the kids. Like she was actually they were just staying with them for that time. Like both parents had joint custody. So they would split the custodies. There was one would have the kids this time, the other would have the kids at this time. But anyway, so I hate to go off on a tangent, but people use GoFundMe to scam people a lot of times, to try to guilt people into giving them money, to make up these sad situations. And at the end of the day, they have money. So who's to say that she doesn't have money and she's just trying to get extra money on top of the money that she already has, you know what I'm saying? Or she don't want to pay for it out of her pocket. She want other people to pay for it so she can keep the money that she got. That is a situation that, you have to be mindful of and think about when you're thinking about stuff like this, because he is an actor. Why does he have money is a good question. You know what I'm saying? Like, does he have a plan set up in the case that he does pass away, being a celebrity?
I can see both parts because I mean, I can see where people are coming from, where it's like, you're a celebrity, you've been in these major films because I mean, he was three of the top films that we see constantly played now. I got the hookup. I would say is third. You got Players Club that will be second that he was in, and then you got Friday that would definitely be a unanimous decision as first that he was in. It would be like, you should have enough money to not only save up for the family, but to cover any expenses like this. But part of me would be like, hearing how they would have gotten shorted back then and how money was split back then versus now, being able to sign guarantee contracts and things like that, how money has changed, how contracts have changed and stuff like that. I can see where the difference would come in. I mean, even with setting up a GoFundMe, I set up a GoFundMe, not me personally, but our family set up a GoFundMe when my first wife passed away. Before she even passed away, when she was trying to, gain money to kind of help with her getting treatment outside of the United States for her breast cancer. So, I mean, I could see both parts. I mean, I just feel like it sucks. You know, I feel like you shouldn't have to ask, you shouldn't have to put out a comment like this to get help from celebrities like Ice Cube and a lot of older celebrities that, you know, your husband acted with. You know, it should have been one of those first things that came out right then and there, or it should have been one of those situations where they stayed in contact with this person. Because, I mean, we can say without them, he wouldn't have been who he was, but we could also say without him, they wouldn't have been who they were. Because without him playing those characters that he played in those picks, you know, would the movie have been as successful as it was? You know, even though he didn't play a major part as Ezel or as any of those other characters, would it have been as great if you know, you look at a lot of picks, if Mike Epps wouldn't have been Day Day in the Friday After Next, would Friday After Next would have been as funny, you know? So it I can see both hands. I can see both parts.
Yeah, and I'll one last thing I'll say. I mean, like we all heard about. I think that's the reason why Chris Tucker didn't want to be a part of the series anymore is because they didn't get paid that much money. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Like, he left the series because they weren't getting paid. Pop, the guy who played what's his name?
John
Pop
Witherspoon.
John
John
Witherspoon.
Witherspoon. You know, rest in peace to him as well. He also, you know, said that they didn't really get paid a lot of money doing Friday. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like that's a part people look at just because it's a cultural classic. You know what I'm saying? And it's a classic to people outside of our culture as well. But you know, those movies really didn't pay those actors a lot of money just because they are classics. You know what I'm saying? The budget wasn't that big for some of those movies. So I think that's something that you have to take into mind as well.
True. But let's move on to well, another disgruntled individual. We got your boy, Benjamin J. Simmons. I just gave him a middle initial. Don't know what his middle initial is. But anyway, coming off his disastrous
What was the initial
performance,
you gave him?
J. It's
Shit.
kind of ironic because he don't have a
Because he
J.
don't have a J.
He got one in the off
There you
season.
go. There you go. Hey, bars. Sign me. But anyway, Ben coming off of a disastrous playoff performance, you know, it was kind of around a scuttlebutt that they were really trying to get rid of. They were really trying to get rid of him. They had trade proposals uh, before the draft, but nothing ever materialized. And so now, you know, Ben has finally decided to make it known that he wants out of Philly. So what do you guys think about this whole Ben Simmons situation?
I would like to be able to put out a petition to have all of the light skinned fellows sign
Oh,
to have him kicked out of the light skin committee. We over here in the light skin committee have a lot of great things going for us. Okay.
Drake?
We can pass as white people sometimes.
Oh,
We can get away with a lot of things being in this light skin committee. And this guy is fucking it up for the rest of us. Right. So I would like to be able to submit a petition or whatever you want to call it. Have you guys signed to have him kicked off? He is not invited to any light skin barbecues. He cannot ride the light skin rides at Six Flags. He is not allowed to any light skin events, right?
He doesn't get the
Um,
light skin lotion.
at all. Like, nope.
Okay.
Let that motherfucker burn. Sunburn, let it happen. All right.
wow.
Let the
No
sunburn
SPF
happen.
15 for him. Okay.
No SPF, none of that. None of it at all.
Darn it.
Man, it's like, bro, you get paid millions of dollars to shoot a ball, bro. And I don't agree with a lot of things that Chuck has to say because I feel like it's old man gander. I feel like it's bitter. Oh, I didn't grow up in this society, and I didn't grow. And not to say society, but I didn't grow up in this generation where you get a lot of publicity off of social media. You guys are seen 24/7. I was in the era with Michael Jordan, so he was the LeBron of that era, and he got all the shine. I don't like to listen to a lot of the things that he has to say, but this is one thing I can definitely agree with him on. It's like, bro, you get paid millions of dollars to bounce a basketball, to shoot a basketball. All you have to do is go to practice. I mean, we got guys. Me and my brother go to LA Fitness daily. We got guys in there playing like they playing for an NBA championship. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, bro, all you got to do, you can post summer videos of you hitting J's. That means nothing to the hardworking people of Philadelphia. That'd be the same thing if he was playing in Memphis. This is a hardworking city. Do you think people would care because you posting pics with Ferraris and you dating and you dating a Kardashian and all of this other stuff? Don't nobody care about none of that. You're not helping us succeed. You know, your job. I'm not even telling you to carry a franchise. Unlike LeBron, you have come in with another superstar in Joel Embiid, and you guys can't coexist and make it past another guy who really can't shoot. But we see Giannis as the other guy who really can't shoot, who is not afraid to shoot the ball. You're mentally afraid to shoot the ball. So I think whenever we were having the meeting, Reeves was saying something about, look, I think it's beyond. I don't know if it was Reeves or if it was you, Rob. One of y'all was saying it's beyond, him just not wanting to shoot. It's something mental with this guy when it comes to playing in an actual NBA game versus playing in the summer. He knows it could be one of those things where he knows it's just for fun in the summer. And, this is what I get paid for during the season. So I'm not going to shoot it. I'm going to do what I'm accustomed to doing. I don't know if it's going to change if he gets traded and he goes to another team. But I mean, it's more than just that. Dude don't even want to meet with his teammates. You know what I'm saying? So it's like he just said, F the whole organization. Y'all want to trade me because I don't want to do my job. So, fuck you. I don't want to talk to you. So I don't know. I still say at the end of the day, fuck that nigga. I kick him off the team. If I was Joel Embiid, I'd come out and I'd be talking cash money. You can be a troll with everybody else in the league. Be a troll with that soft ass light skinned nigga. Fuck that dude. Get him off your team ASAP.
I mean, I get that take. I just feel like so many NBA, we're seeing this trend with a lot of NBA stars. He's not. I wouldn't put him in the same category as the people before him who have asked for a trade, like James Harden. I believe AD forced the Pelicans' hand and wanted to get out of there. We're seeing this trend of people who aren't happy with an organization and they want out. Me personally, I feel like Ben Simmons is him shooting the ball is a mental thing. It's not physical. It's just something. Maybe he has stage fright. Maybe he just isn't confident enough in his game, in that part of his game, to shoot the ball in an NBA game, because it is a lot of pressure. You got thousands of people watching you, play basketball, and shooting the basketball and airballing isn't a good feeling. You know what I'm saying? Like, especially being paid to do so, like millions of dollars. That's pressure. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day. But I don't believe he fits that team anyway. I feel like him and Joel Embiid, are kind of, they're both like paint-oriented players, should be paint-oriented players. Joel Embiid can shoot the ball, but he is most dominant in the paint. Ben Simmons is most dominant driving to the basket. He's not LeBron James. I think we all compare him to LeBron James when he first came in the league, and now people expect him to shoot the ball, when that's just not what he's going to do. And I don't think he's ever going to do it in a capacity that's going to make him as good as LeBron James or anybody else of that caliber. You know what I'm saying? So to me personally, I just say, let him go. Let him go. Like, you let James Harden go. You let Kawhi go. You let AD go. What's the problem? Because he can't shoot a basketball? The fuck? Like, I mean, at the end of the day, if he don't fit, he don't want to be there, ship him out. Get something for him. Bro, why are y'all trying to hold on to somebody who don't want to be there? Y'all like the ex that want to beat on the girl and force her to stay in a relationship, or pressure her to stay in a relationship, because you got something on her or him. Like, it's just like, let it go, bro. Let go of this toxic relationship at the end of the day.
I think these new generation of players are hoes. They soft. you know, like in comparison. As the least well-versed person in sports in the group, you know, I feel like this new generation of players are hoes. I feel if the rules support the fact that they hoes and only enable this hoish ass, you know, atmosphere that they hoishly exist in. These old Garnier fructis, hoe ass, you know, soft ass dudes, you know, and to be fair to him, he thinks that he's probably like an elite player. He see other people do this move of, oh, I want to ask the league so I can go and join some other team. And I mean, for your career, I guess I get like wanting your career to be one thing and you don't feel as if like you jail. And that's fair. If he feels he just don't jail at that particular, you know, team, I mean, and they are, you know, they're not they're odd fits. I mean, it's fair for him to want to go and do something better. But like, I mean, because this new generation is so hoish, it's like it's probably like something so small, the reason why they don't jail. And rather than, you know, try and be the leader that they think that they are, or be the elite player that they think that they are, they basically want to go and be a part of some super team. I think these new niggas these new players are hoes, you know. The word for the day is hoes. Y'all are hoes.
As if we did not get that from that soliloquy. Uh, but anyway, at the end of the
H.
day, this is on it's on the 76ers. It's on the 76ers because you drafted him and you coddled him. You know, there was no firm hand that demanded that he got a jump shot. There was no firm hand to demand that he got better. Once you saw that he had questionable work habits or work ethic. And then it's on the 76ers as well because you had viable trade options, but you wanted to ask for an astronomical haul. That makes no sense. If other teams around the league know that he's a tragically flawed player, meaning that he is not willing to shoot, who on God's green earth are going to give you two first round picks for him? Even though,
That is his attitude too.
I
Like
mean, nobody's gonna do that.
Yeah.
That's foolish.
I mean, I just think that I think that as an organization, you know, him coming in, they expected him. I think we all, it goes further than just the organization. It's just our expectations of each player. As much as we want to bash, you know, players that stayed throughout a lot of bull crap that organizations had going on, we expect players to be like a Kobe, like a Dirk, like a MJ that stayed
Mhm.
throughout the thick and thin and better their game. And that's something that's not happening with
And
him. It's
I
like it's
think
not. It's. I think that it would be a bigger. I think it would be a different tone, and we wouldn't hear as much if he would take shots during the game. But when you have a whole play where you have an open lane to the basket and you pass it to a dude that's covered, and then he gets fouled, and you because you're afraid to go to the foul line because you've missed shots, that speaks volumes. It goes back to bruh. You could have taken this shot, but you didn't take it. You could have taken this shot, but you didn't take it. We could have been at least in the NBA finals or at least the Eastern Conference finals, but we
yeah.
can't get there because you're not willing to take shots. You know what
I
I'm
mean,
saying? I feel
with
like that's what it falls back on.
with him, it's clearly mental. I
yeah.
mean, it's clearly mental, and he shows all the signs that he needs to go see a sports psychologist to get through it because different sports they have different names for it. We talked about the twisties with gymnastics and golf. Sometimes it's called the yips. When you just have mental blocks, and his mental block is just shooting the ball. So I hope he gets help, and hopefully he gets traded to the Golden State Warriors. That's a selfish thing on my behalf. But we are happy that you guys tuned in for episode 11. Make sure that you like, subscribe, click the bell notification so you are notified when new content comes up. They Gonna Feel Me podcast, authentic men, authentic conversation. Shout out to Mississippi Valley State University. You see I'm valid out right now because it's homecoming
Double apparel.
at the Valley. Let's
Looking like a
get it.
neophyte.
We are out.
Valley where the girls get naked.